along to the West Wales Karting Virtual Racing ProjectCars2 race, and we're here today at the Clio Cup Championship on the PS4 platform for round 6 at Barcelona Club Circuit. 1.05 miles, 6 turns. The last race we had here was, well, I mean, how would you put it, Alex? It was just incredible, wasn't it? There was a lot of fierce battles brewing, and even though there was only 6 cars, it felt like there were a lot more with the amount of carnage that was going on.
It was definitely close and frantic racing between the top 3. As you see the championship there, it's really close between Stu and Dan Holloway, just a point in it with Monty a bit further back, but if he wins the race, that's really going to put him back into the grasps of winning the championship.
Yes, still all to play for. There's a lot of rounds left in this championship. We're only on round 6 and 14 rounds. So the next starting lineup now, so we've got Stuart Davis. It's based on the finishing order of the last one. So Stuart Davis won that one at Barcelona, just ahead of Dan Holloway. And it's night time almost here. So and away they go. It's a really quick start. And Dan Holloway's trying to repay the favour to Stuart Davis from the last one, where Stuart nicked in front of him at the start, but he doesn't quite manage it. But is he going to get a better run now? Look how far ahead they are. The chasing pack is Spitfire is still in 3rd place. Del Boy now is ahead of Monty, and Pixie is still back there in 6th. And Spitfire now is holding up the chasing pack, and Stuart. This has allowed Stuart and Dan to get a really good getaway, and they're battling for the lead now. Look, incredible. Stuart gets really out of shape, and that's Dan Holloway through now into the lead, and that's bang. That's Spitfire, I think, in the wall, wasn't it? Oh no, there he is. I felt like someone went in the wall there, but I don't know. Did you see what happened there, Alex? Monty MC1 was into 3rd now.
I think Spitfire just kissed the wall and luckily got away with that one. But yeah, it's a frantic start. It definitely shows the advantage Stu and Dan Holloway have got being in part of the Xbox group. They've really nailed their starts off the line there. It looks like, hard to tell, but Spitfire's back into 3rd now. He's got back past Monty.
Yeah, it does look like it. Monty was struggling with pace at round 5 of this championship, which is also at this circuit, but held in the daytime. He was struggling for pace a little bit. He was caught in the closing stages by Del Boy, but now Del Boy finds himself back behind Monty again now. So it shows you that Monty's got some great defensive skills around this track, and he's actually staying with Spitfire here too. So if you can follow his line, we could have a really good battle brewing here for the final podium position, or even for higher up places. But it does look like Dan Holloway and Stuart Davis are on a mission here. They're right at the front of the championship, just a point separating them. And yeah, they're going to absolutely go for it. And it did come to blows a little bit, didn't it? There was a little bit of argy-bargy in the last one between them. And if it gets any worse, any one of these drivers could also be in with a shout at winning this one.
It looks like Spitfire's actually catching Stu up, and Dan's just booked it and gone.
Yeah.
So it could be a 4-way battle for 2nd, as Monty's really on the tail of Spitfire there. Just going over the little jump on the cut back onto the main course, but this is definitely holding up Del Boy, and he won't be happy.
No, it probably isn't best pleased to see that he's still back there behind Monty. He looks like he's got more pace than 5th position, in fairness to him. But yeah, look at that. Stuart Davis really struggling for pace here. It's over 2 seconds behind Dan now. This is not what we saw in the first race, so maybe he's having some issues warming his tyres up, maybe in this cold night air of Barcelona. What do you think? Any tyre issues going on here?
I'd say you'd have to imagine it'd be more wear issues than the tyres going colder, but it's really, whatever it is, it's really affecting Stu, and he's holding the pack up massively. It's Del Boy onto the gravel there. That's not going to help him at all. He's falling back now from Monty, who's still harassing Spitfire, but Spitfire be after 2nd place now, and especially after missing 2 championships, as he looks on the inside there. But yeah, if you're trying to get past Stu and try and gain some points back, especially after, like I said, losing the 2 championship rounds he had to miss out. But still got to be careful of Monty, who's really pressurising. He's really he might have just used the first race as a bit of practice to gain some speed into this one.
Yeah, he's building nicely, isn't he? He's building his speed, building his confidence, and he's really all over the back of Spitfire now. Stuart Davis is just a moving roadblock though. Spitfire down the inside of Stuart. Are they going to make contact? Stuart doesn't see him. He closes the door, and they very nearly end up going straight to the scene of the accident there on the infield, but they managed just to stay on track. And now Monty's having a go down the inside of Spitfire as well, as they head back onto the main course now, which is turn 1 of the Grand Prix circuit, now through turn 2 and now through turn 3, which of course is the last corner of the club circuit that we're racing on. But yeah, look at this, on board now from Spitfire. He's really all over the back of Stewart. 3 seconds behind Dan now. Dan has absolutely floored it, and they can barely see him anymore.
Yeah, he's really gone. It looks like Spitfire down on the inside. Stu's gone wide. You'll have to imagine he is actually struggling. It looks like it's 3 wide going out of the corner. That's Monty on the inside. Oh, and they're touching in the barrier. Smash into that tyre barrier there. That's really put a dampener on Monty and Spitfire's race, as they're down in 4th and 5th now, unfortunately. But that's promoted Del Boy up to 3rd, and he'll be rubbing his hands together to try and get past Stu now.
Such a shame. They were going 3 wide then. There's plenty of room for all 3 of them, but it looks like Spitfire there was trying to close the door on Monty and just didn't quite see he was there, and they didn't leave each other enough room anyway. Ended up going straight into the barrier, and that tyre wall was very nicely placed, wasn't it, to catch both of them out and spat them back out into the circuit there. But anyway, yeah, Del Boy's going to be the big gainer of this. Look, now he's got Stuart Davis all to himself. He'll be laughing and he'll be thinking he can catch Stuart at any point here. And if he gets him soon enough, who knows, maybe he'll have the pace as well to catch Dan Holloway up ahead. But he is over 4.5 seconds ahead now, even 5 seconds ahead nearly.
He'd have to do it sooner than later, especially with Dan about 4 or 5 seconds up the road. You don't really want that gap getting any bigger. There's no hope in catching him, especially when they're doing about the same lap times. Well, Dan's doing faster lap times than these two, but they are battling as we go on board with Del Boy. But Stu is quite odd going from the first Barcelona race to this one, just how much he's struggling.
It is a bit strange, isn't it? And maybe we'll let wheel lock in and 50p pence shaped tyres at the end of the last one. Maybe he's carried them through into this one, who knows? Of course, I mean, tyre wear is turned on, isn't it? So, I don't know, he's got some issue anyway, clearly, because otherwise we'd be expecting him to be up there battling with Dan. But Dan is carrying some serious pace, although Monty's got some serious pace as well, looking at the lap times, and so is Spitfire after they're coming together. Rising on board with Del Boy, you can really see him, he's trying to size up Stuart here, trying to pick his moment to get through. And of course, in Del Boy's mind here, he's battling for the title still. He needs to take chances though. He's behind at the moment. He needs to try and find a way through on Stuart.
Even if it's just a dive, he's got to try something, especially with Dan getting further away, and obviously Dan being the championship leader. But Stuart wants to stay second. It really keeps him in that
Touching
hunt
distance
to get his first championship.
Absolutely, and now you can see the darkness really falling now, and now it's time for the commentators to really earn their money and try and pick through the darkness who's who. Thankfully we've only got 6 cars to choose from.
Yeah, luckily they're all quite bright colours besides Stu, who uses his trademark black and orange livery. He tends to choose every race. But looks like Del Boy going for wide line, trying to probably get the cut back on the inside and really line himself up for the first corner, which would be brilliant if he could get that done. But in the background you've got Monty there, who even after his crash has really got the pace and is properly catching these two up. Just shows how much Stu's holding everyone up.
Yeah, in fairness to him, he knows how to place his car, doesn't he, to make it awkward for the person behind. But it must be very frustrating right now for Del Boy as he sees Monty closing in too. He's going to start becoming that car that nobody wants to be when you're in the middle there and you need to attack and defend, and you have twice the workload that what you normally do. And all over the curb there, is that Del Boy off? It is Del Boy off, and he's headed straight to the Momo barrier, and he's in the gravel there, and he's recovering now. But that's really not gone well for Del Boy. He had a chance there to nick second place from Stewart, and suddenly after just one slight mistake he finds himself down in 4th, and now Spitfire's going to be coming at him really quickly too. Really unfortunate there for Del Boy, wasn't it?
That's quite an odd one. It must have got on 2 wheels and just slid out on him, which is really unfortunate, but this allowed Spitfire to catch up to him and really go for 4th. But you never know, Monty might be able to catch up to Stu now and keep his championship hopes alive.
Yeah, wouldn't bet against Monty catching Stu. He's like I said earlier, he's grown in confidence. and he seems to be building pace throughout these 2 races here at Barcelona, but he hasn't got that much more time to build any more confidence. Now is the time he needs to make that confidence pay, and pay in the terms of points by catching Stuart Davis and passing him for second. He's certainly not going to catch Dan now, is he? Dan's just too far ahead. But he can really do his championship a lot of goods here if he can try and get past this immovable object, this black and orange immovable object that Stuart Davis is currently in second. And yeah, he hasn't got the pace, but he's managed to stay there, hasn't he? Fair play to him.
Yeah, he's doing well in second. You see Spitfire really catching up to Delboy here. As I said, that last lap might have just thrown his confidence a bit and really allowed Spitfire to close up, but you can imagine there's his bumper flaps away. He'll be trying to do a few dives going into the first corner as well.
Yeah, this is classic what we expect from motor racing though, isn't it? You can be on your front foot and then suddenly just one small error and you're on your back foot, and that's exactly where Delboy is now. He's got to pick himself back up and he's got to try all over again and forget that mistake and just try and nail every single apex he can. And that's the only way he's going to recover from this.
Yeah, especially around here, but it's going to be hard with the tyre wear. And, well, it might help, especially with colder conditions being at night time. You'll have to hope the tyres are a bit colder, so it'll be less wear, they won't overheat as much. But, yeah, it's hard to say now, but there's see Dan out ahead by quite a margin now, of 4 seconds from Stu, with Monty only two or so seconds behind, so he could really catch up with only about 5 minutes left of the race.
Yeah, sadly for Monty though, he's kind of stayed around that gap for the last few laps. He doesn't seem to be closing in anymore on Stewart. So come on Monty, give us a show. Put some decent lap times in. Let's get after Stewart and make a fight for second, because at the moment it's hard to see where the next fight's coming from. I think Delboy and Spitfire is the closest one on the circuit. Pixie is quite a way back there in 6th. He does seem to be struggling a little bit at this circuit. Hopefully he can get involved a bit more at the next one, but still he's picking up some good points in his championship battles there with Welsh Taff and Alex Brown, who aren't racing with us at these rounds in Barcelona.
Yeah, as we see the front of Dan's car there as he goes around the last corner on the club circuit, going into the Repsol Bridge there, into the first one. It's quite a nice blue on that car. Usually the interior is quite blue whenever we see Dan when he's attacking the race, but he'd be quite nice and happy with this race lead he's got.
Yeah, I have to say that blue kind of fits in almost camouflage with this sort of Spanish twilight that we've got going on here, and really does a very fast Spanish cameraman running alongside him too to get those shots. Fantastic effort there. Top marks to the cameraman, but anyway, Pick Z there as well in 6th. We're just looking at, he's how does he get on in terms of lap times? 49.8 the last time round. He's finding himself a couple of seconds off the ultimate pace, isn't he, around here?
Yeah, he's really improved from first race to first race. He was about 51 seconds, so he's definitely finding the time and really brings lap times down. So it's quite impressive that he's managed to find that much time.
Absolutely.
In a matter of, was it 15 laps or so?
Yeah, all he needs to do now is try and work on his consistency as well, and he'll be finding himself challenging for, with Spitfire and Delboy, who are the next cars that's just up ahead of him. But it's all championship points in the end, and it's going to help him in his battles, I should say. But anyway, back with the battle up front now. Stuart Davis still ahead of Monty, and that gap isn't really coming down anymore, so I don't know what to say, Alex. There's nothing much going on here, is there, at the moment?
No, compared to the first race, this was quite a quiet one. You got these two, which are probably the closest battle, which is Delboy and Spitfire, but even then they're still about a second, so only really, unless Spitfire really puts in a good lap time here or one of them makes a mistake, it's going to be quite quiet towards the end, it looks like, really.
Yeah, they've gone into a bit of a Spanish siesta, the drivers have. Although actually, I'm sure behind the wheel there, they're still working absolutely as hard as they can. A mistake can happen just like that, like we've seen. You never know who's going to drop it next and who's going to crack. These drivers are still pushing each other extremely hard, even though it looks like they're not particularly close on circuit. They will be looking at that timing chart in the top left corner of their screen as they're driving around, won't they? And try and calculate whether they can catch the person ahead or whether they're going to be caught. and that's constantly going through the drivers' minds as they're driving around here. So there's always something going on.
Yeah, as well as tyre wear, and Stu's going to have to navigate past Pixie as he goes to lap him. So, yeah, there's little things like that as Pixie goes very wide, and he's very generous to Stu, allowing him through, and also Monty in third, but might have made it a bit awkward there. That's a bit too generous, I'd have to say, allowing everyone through like that. But at least he got out of the way and sort of safe, I guess.
Yeah, he'll be picking up his points regardless today. He's having a bit of fun out there, clearly. Just entering the Clio Drift Championships while he's at it.
Yeah, but you see Dan Holloway here just doing his thing. He's really shown why he was one of the favourites for this championship. He's really dominated this race from the start really, and well, almost to the finish now. It looks like this could be last lap.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think this will be the last lap here. And like you're saying, Dan Holloway, he's really put his marker down here to the rest of them, especially Stewart in second, who has had no answer to the pace. And look, Monty now is all over the back of Stewart for the last lap here for second. We could still yet see a position change here on the very last lap. I don't know if Stewart made a mistake because Monty suddenly closed right in on him. He's only got another couple of corners though. He's going to have to really try hard to wrong foot Stewart here. He's going to hold back and try and get a good run onto the last corner. Stewart's gone wide though. Now Monty's on the inside, but Stewart's going to cut back and get a good exit, I think. So he might just get to the line there before Monty, as Dan Holloway takes a very dominant win here at the second race at Barcelona. Fantastic race from Dan Holloway. Absolutely controlled that race perfectly with just pure pace, to be honest. And then Stuart Davis just about held off Monty, even though he didn't have the pace of some of his rivals. He managed to pick up a second, which could prove vital in the final championship order. Monty as well, coming back strong there in third. Del Boy, unfortunate, back down in fifth. Spitfire, very solid in fifth, probably hoping for a few more points than that. And then Pixie there coming home, and now that puts Pixie, look, ahead of Welsh Chaff and Alex Brown. So it's paid off with him turning up and getting those points today.
Yeah, but as you can see for that first Barcelona race, Dan did receive a penalty of -5, so that's, even though he won that race quite convincingly, it still dropped him back to only 3 points from Stu.
Absolutely, yeah, still really close up top. So yeah, join us at the next race where we'll see which other twists and turns we'll have in store in this Clio Championship.